learners, I am Siba. We can move to lesson Nature and Scope of Business. In this lesson, you will learn human activities, meaning and characteristics of economic activities, economic and non-economic activities, business, profession and employment. Then we have to study also objectives and importance of business and different types of business activities. Human beings will do a lot of activities. So such activities can be called as human activities. And the human activities that are undertaken with an objective to earn money are called economic activities. The type of activities that are undertaken to derive self-satisfaction are known as non-economic activities. Under economic activities, we can classify it into business, profession and employment. So these are all occupations. So let us study occupation. The activities in which individuals engage themselves on a regular basis and earn their livelihood are known as their occupation. Here we have profession, employment and business as various occupations done by human beings. All those economic activities which involves the rendering of personal service of specialized nature and expert nature are known as profession. And profession is based on professional training and skill. It requires the observance of certain rules and regulations. Let us study the feature of profession. In that you can include profession is an occupation for which individual has to acquire a special knowledge and skill. For example, doctors. Doctors should have specialized knowledge in that particular medical field and skill to tackle the clients or patients and to cure their disease. Identification of the correct disease is an expertise of a doctor. So it requires certain skill. Similar is the case with lawyers being a professional. They should identify whether there is any law point in that. Then only they should take that case. So special knowledge relating to identifying the law points in that particular case is needed for that lawyer, and skill to say those points in front of the court. So that is a professional. The money the professional get for providing such a service is known as fee. Most of the professionals are regulated by a professional body. Doctors are regulated by Indian Medical Association. Lawyers are regulated by Bar Council of India. Professionals acquire specialized knowledge from where? From colleges, from universities or specialized institutes. Professionals usually work on their own and get fee for their services, and they are termed as in practice. They are doing practice, like that we will say. Primary objective of every profession is to provide service, though they may charge a nominal fee. Coming to another occupation, employment. The economic activity rendered by one person to another under a contract of service for some remuneration is employment. So coming to the features of employment, employment is an occupation where a person called employee is to work for another person called employer. So, employee-employer relationship is there in every employment. There are certain terms and conditions of work between the employer and the employee. Like hours of work. How many hours a worker should work for that organization? How many hours in a day? Then, relating to the duration of the work, there should be terms and conditions. That is, how many hours in a week a worker should work for that organization, or how many days in a week that a worker should work for that organization. Similarly, terms and conditions should be there relating to leave facility, wages or salary that is to be paid to the workers. Employees get salary or wage in return for their work. So, salaries are given on monthly basis and wages are paid on daily basis or weekly basis. In employment, jobs can be performed without any technical education or specialized skill. The main purpose behind employment is to secure assured income, money. Without money, no one will engage in any economic activity. As employment is an economic activity, we are going for a secured or assured income. Coming to another occupation, business. Business may be defined as an activity involving regular production, underline that word, regular production or purchase of goods and services for sale or transfer and exchange with the object of earning profit. If a person is selling his old car to his neighbor, it is not a business because it is not done on a regular basis. That is also aimed at selling for a profit, but it is not a business. That is why I have mentioned here regular production or regular selling or purchase of goods and services. Here are the characteristics of business. It is an occupation where a person is engaged in manufacturing of goods and services, or a person is engaged in buying and selling of goods and services. You have seen small retail shops. They are not manufacturing goods. They are buying goods from various manufacturing centers and selling it to the consumers. So, that is also a business. And business activities must be carried on regularly. What is the main objective of running a business? Definitely to earn profit. Every business requires some investment in cash or in kind or both. The earnings are always uncertain. Sometimes we have invested large amount in the business, but at last there will not be any cash balance in the business. So, such situation is known as uncertainty. Uncertainty can occur in various ways, like strike may occur, flood, natural calamities, like that. These things will affect the running of the business. Importance of business. Business improves the standard of living of the people by providing better quality goods and variety of goods and services at the right time and at the right place. You are staying in an urban area and you want to buy some jute bags. Earlier we have used sacks, and because of the improvement in the business, we have transformed that into colorful jute bags. So, our opportunity to buy the goods as well as our money backing capacity also improved, and this is because of the improvement in the business and business helps in improving the standard of living of the people. Business provides opportunities to work and earn a livelihood. It utilizes scarce resources of the nation and helps in the mass production of the goods which is required by the citizens of our country, as well as it provides new services, transportation, warehousing, banking, etc. Now we have seen mass rail transport system in developed cities. This is because of the new type of service that is provided by the business. Business improves national images by producing and exporting quality goods to foreign countries also. Not only goods they are making, they are providing service also to foreign countries. Business enables the people of a country to use quality goods of international standard. Business gives better returns to the investors on their capital invested. Let us identify the objectives of business, which includes economic objectives, social objectives, human objectives, national and global objectives. Let us see economic objectives. It includes the objective of the business to earn adequate profit, exploring new markets and creation of more customers. Growth and expansion of business operation is also an economic objective. Making innovations and improvements in goods and services. Making use of available resources in the best possible manner. So this is also an economic objective. Coming to social objective, that is for the society, what are the objectives that is to be done by the business? Production and supply of quality goods and services to the society, making goods available at reasonable prices, avoidance of unfair practices like hoarding, black marketing, overcharging, etc. And business contribute towards the general welfare and upliftment of the society. So this can also be included as a social objective. Then, ensuring fair return to the investors. That is also a social objective. Coming to human objective. What all things business should do for the workers or human beings in that organization? Business should provide fair remuneration and incentive to the employees. It should arrange better working conditions and better work environment for the employees. Neat places, arranged things, etc. will give more efficiency for the organization. Providing job satisfaction is possible by making job interesting and challenging, and business should put right persons in the right job for achieving this. So that is also a human objective, because if a person is not having enough skill in that particular work, and if he is placed in that work, he may find it very difficult to move on. So it is the duty of the business or objective of the business to place right person in the right job. Employees should be provided with promotional opportunities. As a human objective, you can consider this also. Then coming to national objective. For the nation, for bringing goodwill to the nation, what business can do? It can create employment opportunities, promote social justice, equal wages for equal work, timings of the workers, of all workers, top level, middle level and bottom level workers should be kept same. National objective, production and supply goods in accordance with the national interest and priorities. Like, if rice is needed, the nation should help the business and business should be able to produce rice because there is a shortage of rice in that particular year. Similarly, business should give priority if there is a reduction in the wheat production. Like that, produce according with the nation's interest. Payment of taxes at correct time without any due, honestly and regularly, that is also a objective of the business, can be included as national objective. Then coming to global objective, making available globally competitive goods and services. Our country is so capable with enough knowledge and effort, and we can produce competitive goods which other countries will be attracted to buy those type of goods. Reducing disparities among different nations like rich nation, poor nation, etc. Such disparities can be avoided by expanding the business operation to foreign countries. So, this is a global objective. Then, in every business, we are aiming to acquire profit or to get profit. So, what is the role of profit in business? Profit is needed for survival. For replacing old asset, we need profit. For future growth and expansion, if you want to expand it to different branches, not only in one country, in different countries, we need more profit. Profit is an incentive to the person who is putting the effort, usually the owners. Then only it will give motivation to the owners. Then prestige. Definitely, if a good organization is there means more profit. More profit means more wages. More wages means workers are attracted towards this organization. So, prestige improves. Achievement of goals of the organization, whether to improve sales or to retain more customers, etc. Profit is the criteria for measuring the efficiency of the business, and it is a regular income for the persons who are engaged in the business. So, it is a means of livelihood to the business class. In business, we have to study another term known as business risk. While running a business enterprise, definitely there is an element of risk. Risk means chance of loss due to uncertain events in future. Nature of risk. Uncertainty, because risk is uncertain. Due to natural causes like flood, earthquake, tide, etc. or human causes like theft, misappropriation of fund, riot, etc. Profit is the reward for risk, and risk is difficult to measure. And risk is an essential element of every business. And if it is a large business, more risk is there because more investment is there. More money means more risk. More workers means more risk. So, that is about variability as a nature of business risk. Coming to causes of business risk, natural causes, economic causes, political causes, human causes, physical and technical causes are there for business risk. Activities of the business can be classified into industry and commerce. And let us study industry first. Industry refers to all such business activities concerned with production or processing of goods and services. It processes raw materials into finished products, or sometimes it processes semi-finished goods into finished products. Under industries, we can give the classification like this: primary industry, secondary and tertiary industry. Primary industries refers to the activities of extraction of natural resources like coal, oil, minerals, etc. and reproduction and development of living organisms like plants and animals. Secondary industries uses the products of primary industry as its raw materials, Activities of secondary industries may be of manufacturing or construction. Manufacturing industries are engaged in producing finished goods out of raw materials or semi-finished products. Tertiary industries are concerned with generating services. These facilitate the functioning of primary industries and secondary industries. Tertiary industries include service industries like banking, insurance, transport, warehousing, etc. Under manufacturing industries, we can include analytical industries, synthetic industries, processing industries, and assembling industries. Analytical industries manufacture different types of products by analyzing and separating different elements from the same product. Petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. are produced from the crude oil in oil refinery industry. Synthetic industries put together various ingredients and manufacture a new product. For instance, soap is produced by combining potassium carbonate and vegetable oil, and a new product soap is formed. Cement is produced by using limestone, coal and other chemicals. So, cement is a new product that can be included under synthetic industries. Processing industries are those in which raw materials are processed through successive stages to get the final product. Textile, sugar and paper are examples of processing industries. Assembling industries will put together various manufactured products and make a new product like car, scooter, bicycle, radio, television, etc. In commerce, buying and selling of goods and services takes place, and this activity is essential for the smooth flow of goods and services from the point of production to the point of consumption. What is trade? Purchase and sale of goods and services is termed as trade. And aids to trade, that is auxiliaries to trade, the activities that ensure smooth flow of goods to consumers are known as aids to trade. So, under commerce, you can include trade and aids to trade. Once again, I will mention about trade. It refers to sale, transfer or exchange of goods and services. It helps in making the goods and services available to ultimate consumers. As a feature of trade, you can include it involves actual buying and selling of goods. It refers to processing goods from one place to sell it to another place. Traders are middlemen which will help in the distribution of goods and services. Trading helps in equalizing demand and supply. On the basis of area of operation, we can classify trade as internal and external trade. When trade takes place within the boundaries of a country, it is known as internal trade. When trade that takes place between different countries, it is an external trade. So, in trade, we can include transportation, warehousing, banking, insurance, communication and advertising. Dear learners, I hope you have got a clear idea relating to human activities, which includes economic and non-economic activities. Then we have entered into different types of economic activities like business, profession and employment. In business, we have entered into the profit and risk as different terms. Then we have identified trade and aids to trade as a part of commerce and industry and commerce as a part of business. So, thank you.
घर बैठे पाएं राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय शिक्षा संस्थान यानी NIOS में एडमिशन, वो भी एकदम आसान तरीके से, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को होगी समय और धन दोनों की बचत। NIOS से शिक्षा कभी भी कहीं भी। शिक्षार्थियों, क्या आप जानते हैं NIOS में एडमिशन लेने का सरल और सुगम तरीका, जिससे शिक्षार्थियों को ऑनलाइन प्रवेश लेने में सहूलियत मिलती है। NIOS में प्रवेश की प्रक्रिया पूर्णतया ऑनलाइन है। शिक्षार्थी घर बैठे इंटरनेट द्वारा प्रवेश के लिए सबसे पहले NIOS की वेबसाइट www.nios.ac.in पर लॉगिन करें। अपना ईमेल आईडी और पासवर्ड डालकर अपना पंजीकरण करें। पंजीकरण के बाद लॉगिन करने पर ऑनलाइन प्रवेश हेतु आवेदन पत्र खुलेगा। आवेदन पत्र को निर्देशानुसार भरें और प्रिंट आउट लें। इस प्रिंट आउट पर अपनी फोटो संलग्न करें। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश के लिए शुल्क हेतु भुगतान के तरीके हैं: क्रेडिट कार्ड के द्वारा, डेबिट कार्ड के द्वारा, राष्ट्रीयकृत बैंक के ड्राफ्ट के माध्यम से, जो कि सचिव NIOS नई दिल्ली या नोएडा के पक्ष में देय हो। भरे हुए आवेदन पत्र के साथ साथ डिमांड ड्राफ्ट और संलग्न किए जाने वाले दस्तावेज हैं: जन्म रजिस्ट्रार के जिला कार्यालय से जारी जन्म प्रमाण पत्र की सत्यापित प्रति, जिसमें जन्म तिथि अंकित हो, पिछले विद्यालय से प्राप्त विद्यालय छोड़ने का प्रमाण पत्र, जिसमें आवेदक की जन्म तिथि लिखी हो। प्रवेश फॉर्म का प्रिंट आउट NIOS के संबद्ध क्षेत्रीय केंद्रों पर 10 दिनों में पहुंच जाना चाहिए, अन्यथा उचित दस्तावेज न लगे होने पर आवेदन फॉर्म रद्द किया जा सकता है। प्रवेश प्रक्रिया की पुष्टि होने के बाद शिक्षार्थियों को परिचय पत्र व अध्ययन सामग्री डाक द्वारा तुरंत पहुंचाई जाती है। ऑनलाइन प्रवेश एक बहुत ही सुगम और सुविधाजनक प्रवेश प्रणाली है। ऑनलाइन ऑन टाइम फॉर सेफ एंड सिक्योर एडमिशन।
हिंदुस्तान के हर कोने में नौजवानों के पास प्रतिभा है, उन्हें अवसर चाहिए।
NIOS देता रहा है युवाओं को अवसर आगे बढ़ने का। NIOS से पढ़ने वाले इन युवाओं ने किया है संस्थान को गौरवान्वित। दिव्यांगों ने बन के दिखाया है सबल और आत्मनिर्भर। NIOS के साथ आप भी जुड़िए NIOS के संग।